The following presentation is for the Upper Lachlan Shire LGA Total Flood Warning System design. The aim of the presentation is to provide an overview of the project to date and to seek input from the community on the preferred communication options. Upper Lachlan Shire Council have engaged the New South Wales Government's Manly Hydraulics Laboratory to develop and implement cost-effective fit-for-purpose flood warning systems for the townships of Crookwell, Taralga, Gunning and Collector. These systems were developed to effectively predict and communicate flood risk to the local community, council and the New South Wales State Emergency Service. On completion, these systems will enable stakeholders to improve their decision-making capabilities when responding to flooding. This presentation will discuss flooding in the Upper Lachlan Shire, current flood response, what is a total flood warning system, proposed flood warning system, and what is your role. The following slides will discuss design flood events. The term annual exceedance probability, or AEP, refers to the likelihood of an event occurring in a given year. For example, the likelihood of a 1% AEP event occurring in a given year is 1 in 100. Flooding in Collector is characterised by mainstream inundation along Collector Creek. The majority of the village lies on high ground to the east of the waterway and remains unaffected by flooding. The major road crossing at Murray Street is inundated frequently. The flood modelling shown in this animation demonstrate the formation of flooding in Collector for a 1% annual exceedance probability design event. Flooding in Collector occurs relatively quickly, with flood levels in some areas occurring as a result of a 3-hour design event. The current flood response is led by the New South Wales State Emergency Service, or SES, and is based on information provided by the Bureau of Meteorology. The Bureau of Meteorology determine if heavy rainfall is on the way, issue severe weather warnings for the area, monitor conditions in the area, revise warnings, and communicate to agencies. The New South Wales SES monitor rainfall conditions when the Bureau issue a warning. They undertake preparation and response actions. This includes contacting other emergency services for support and initiating evacuations when flooding becomes severe. A total flood warning system includes the following components. Monitoring and prediction. This involves measuring rainfall and water levels and using this information to predict flooding. Interpretation. This is the process of determining what the likely impact of flooding will be. Message construction. This involves creating a message that will help people understand what is happening. Communication. This is the process of getting the message out to the community. Protective behaviour. This involves taking action, such as helping people get to safety. And review. This is the process of understanding what happened, what went well, and how we can do it better. The following slides outline the proposed flood warning system, which was developed in stage 1 of this project. As previously noted, monitoring and prediction involves measuring rainfall and water levels and using this information to predict flooding. In the proposed flood warning system, the SES will use extreme weather warnings and flood watches from the Bureau of Meteorology, as well as real-time data from the available rain gauge network to determine if there is likely to be flooding. Gunning will also use water level triggers from a new water level gauge. The proposed monitoring infrastructure for this flood warning system will include a network of new and existing rainfall and water level gauges. Some of the existing gauges will be upgraded to include automated capabilities. At Collector, a new automated rain gauge will be installed in the township. Predictions will be based on real-time rainfall data from this gauge and warnings provided by the Bureau of Meteorology. There are various pros and cons relating to the proposed infrastructure options. For the option of maintaining the current situation, pros include no additional costs, provides information to the SES to understand current conditions, and cons include relies heavily on the SES checking latest data and difficult to remotely monitor levels. The option of additional automated rainfall gauges, pros include provides more information about rainfall in the catchment, and provides backup if one of the other sites fail. The cons include additional upfront costs and ongoing maintenance, minimum value for money, and relies heavily on the SES checking latest data. For the option of automated water level gauges, pros include provides near real-time flood level in the backwater and provides historical information. For cons, it includes additional upfront costs and ongoing maintenance, provides a small amount of flood warning time, and finally for the option of direct alerting through rain gauge alarms, the pros include provides additional information to the SES volunteers and sends alerts immediately, and cons include additional upfront costs and ongoing maintenance, impact of rainfall varies significantly between events, and a need to maintain the triggers and alarm contact lists. As previously noted, interpretation is the process of determining what the likely impacts of flooding will be. The proposed flood warning system will maintain current processes. That is, New South Wales SES takes rainfall and flood warnings from the Bureau of Meteorology and utilises flood intelligence from flood studies and historically observed data to determine the most effective response. Effective flood interpretation is required to translate predictions to an understanding of who is at risk from flooding and what is the appropriate response. Message construction involves creating messages that will help people understand what is happening. The content of any warning message is dependent on the intended audience and the means of communication. As previously noted, communication is the process of getting the message out to the community. Methods of communication for the flood warning system require community feedback through the survey provided on the website. There are various pros and cons relating to the communication options. For the option of door knocking, the pros include clear personalised instructions and works at any time. Cons include SES need to be on site to implement, may not be sufficient time to warn everyone, and dependent on the number of volunteers available. Social media alerts, the pros include ties into existing notification methods, clear targeted messaging. The cons include limited target demographic, broad message without personalised information, and may not work if someone's asleep. The option of phone calls, the pros include clear personalised instructions, can be effective 24/7, and are community focused. The cons include access to a phone will be required. The option of SMS messaging, the pros include fast to deliver, clear, concise messaging. The cons include broad message without personalised information, need to be on a phone and in range, and may not work if asleep. The option of radio messages, pros include fast to deliver, and the cons include need to be listening to the radio, won't work if asleep or if power is lost, and no personalised information. And finally, the option of using a siren, the pros include clear meaning, targets everyone at risk and others who can assist them, and the cons include false alarms can be annoying and misleading, complacency if not working, requires regular education, training and exercising, and can be expensive. As previously noted, protective behaviour involves taking action, such as helping people get to safety. For the proposed flood warning system, protective behaviour will involve New South Wales SES providing emergency support, collaboration between the New South Wales SES and local community action teams, and development of community action teams and ongoing training and risk awareness sessions. Review is the process of understanding what happened, what went well, and how we can do it better. An integral part of the adopted solution is the need to regularly test the entire system with all agencies and the community. For the proposed flood warning system, review will involve holding annual meetings to test the system from end to end, run mock evacuations, provide information to those living on the floodplain, have agency officials available to answer questions, and review the system. This will help ensure long-term performance and keep residents aware and engaged of their flood risks and responsibilities. Another initiative being considered for the flood warning system are community action teams. Community action teams can assist the SES increase their effectiveness, increase the preparedness of the community, and encourage ownership of the flood warning system as a whole. What is your role? As a member of the community, it is your responsibility to understand your flood risks, be prepared, know what actions to take to be safe, and assist your community through support of your New South Wales SES. As part of this community consultation, we request that you provide feedback on the proposed flood warning system for your township and also your preferred communication options. A survey has been provided on the Council webpage for you to do this. Thank you for your time.